Good evening. On behalf of the MRC91 Repeater, I would like to welcome you all to the Wednesday night Elmer Net. My name is Jim, Kilo Tango 9 Golf, and I am located in Waukesha, and I will be acting as your net control operator for tonight's net. Licensed amateurs, technician class or higher, are encouraged to check in either with or without traffic. Before we start tonight's net, however, if you should have an emergency during this net, please let us know and we will stop to handle your emergency. Traffic for this net means questions, comments, problems, or news about computers or other technical devices or ham radio equipment in general. Questions about new digital modes or thinking about trying a new radio, let's see if others can give you a hand. But please note we will not accept traffic offering to distribute copyrighted programs. If you're looking to buy, sell, or trade anything, we suggest you check out the 9-1 Repeater on Sunday nights directly after the Sunday night announcement net for the Sunday night swap net, where that type of traffic is encouraged. All right, getting started. Check-ins are in alphabetical segments based on the first letter following the numeral in your call sign. Mobile stations may ignore the roll call segments and then check in at any time when it is safe to do so. During check-ins, please respond with your call sign slowly and in standard phonetic, along with your first name and whether or not you got any traffic. Again, my name is Jim, Kilo Tango 9 Golf, your net control operator for this evening. We'll go ahead and begin check-ins with any mobile or short-time stations. Mobile or short-time stations, go ahead. Come now, please. All right, hearing none there, we're going to go ahead and open it up to the first alphabetical segment of A Alpha through K Kilo. A Alpha through K Kilo, go ahead. Come now, please.
Kilo Delta 9, Julia Tango, India, Greg, New Berlin.
KD9, JTI, Greg, got you on there. Anyone else? A Alpha through K Kilo, go ahead. Come now, please. All right, let's do A Alpha through V Victor. A Alpha through V Victor, come now, please.
Whiskey 9, Golf Tango, Zulu, Jim. Kilo 9, Victor, Frank, Papa, Vince.
All right, I got a W9 GTZ and K9 VFP, Jim and Vince on there. Anyone else? A Alpha through V Victor, go ahead. All right, let's open her all the way up. A Alpha through Z Zulu, go ahead. Come now, please.
Kilo Bravo 9er, Yankee, Quebec Victor, Shane.
KB9YQV, Shane, got you on there. Anyone else? A Alpha through Z Zulu. All right, hearing none on that, let's go ahead and we'll get started with the net, and then we'll pick up anybody after the first and second and third round as per usual. So I'll bring it up to the top of the list here, and for tonight's seeding topic, I have a little bit of a change up here. So I've been trying to seed with interesting topics, but as I've noticed, these topics are interesting maybe only to me. So what I wanted to do tonight was I would like every single person on their turn to tell me and the rest of the net what you would like to talk about. Is there a topic that you want to learn about? Is there a topic that you don't know a lot about but you're passionate about or want to learn about? Throw it out there. Ask a question. Say, hey, this is what I'm interested in. This is what I want to do. And hopefully there are others out there who have done it and may be able to talk about it and spark a little bit more of your interest in it. So on your turn, let us know what it is that you would like to talk about on this net. Now, if everyone comes up with a different topic, that's fine. I will take a note of it, and we will talk about it over the next few weeks. We've only got 4 on the list tonight, but that's fine. Hopefully, if each one of you comes up with something unique, we might pull some other people out of the woodwork. But I may do this for the next 2 or 3 weeks, just to kind of see what other topics people want to talk about. So that's my seed for tonight. So on your turn, let us know what it is that you would like to talk about or like to learn about, and we can go from there. So, all right, KD9, JTI, Greg, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Oh, now, whole heck of a lot. Thank you, KD9JTA. Not working much on my radio, but all of a sudden I'm taking a thing into my camera. One thing I found out I'm going to have to use is use a tripod with it. It's just too much shaking. A whole lot of shaking going on. Gonna have to use it with a tripod, and I have to compare the 1080 videos and the 4K videos that it takes. See which ones are better. So I'm working on the camera and going between that and my learning Linux. Not too much on the radio. Did you ever feel just overwhelmed with you got so much to do? I mean, I want to get this legs down pat. I want to get that camera down pat. And I want to get this radio down pat with the APRS and the wires X, especially with the wires X. It's supposed to be super easy. I don't know how to get any videos or anything to you. Oops, hold on. There's one video I wanted to get to you. It's a special by John Crook. Oh well, they don't make these radios anymore anyways. You have to give them 200, 300, and 500. They don't make anymore. They got the FT in 510. Excuse me, which is insanely expensive for a dual band. Now it's a dual band radio, but it's also dual receivers in there. It's a full duplex radio. But I'm looking at a non-fusion, non-C4 FM, which is a dual band, dual received, full duplex radio that they got. And I keep on being told, Fred keeps on telling me, wait until the festival, like this, not necessarily super fest, but when what is that, Ohio, that fest going on. Anyway, KD9 JTI, back to you.
Yeah, KD9 JTI, KT9G, net control. Well, when it comes to Ohio, I would assume you're referring to Hamfest, which is Dayton, Ohio. That's the big one. I was going to try and make it this year, but I can't. I had some conflicts, but either way. Yeah, when it comes to having a ton of things that you want to do all at once, I mean, basically all you got to do is make yourself little goals and just chop away at them. If you put every single task on the board that you want to get done without giving little goals, you'll just get overwhelmed. So my trick is always to just break them up into tiny little pieces and put them in order. This is what I want to do first. This is what I want to do second, blah, blah, blah. And that might be the best thing for you. So you can give that a shot. I don't know. All right, W9GTZ. Jim, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Whiskey 9, Golf Tango Zulu. Gee, Jim, I would say my biggest problem is I don't know what I don't know. But in the meantime, I would like to get into digital radio, but I got to wait a little bit till I get back on my feet. I'm still not walking at all without a walker, and very limited with one. And until I get these legs of mine straightened out, I can't do much of anything. So I guess first thing would be probably to learn to get some digital going on my radio here. And the second thing would be to get my butt back together and start relearning the code and get back on it. I did buy a bug recently, an old-fashioned bug, and I want to get started on it, but right now I just can't do much of anything until I get past these leg issues. Whiskey 9, Golf Tango Zulu, back to net control.
Yeah, W9GTZ, KT9G, net control. Yeah, I know that you've got the medical stuff going on. But that being said, if you want to get into digital, I could send you some stuff, or I've been cooped up in my house a lot recently. Maybe I should just come out and see you. I know where you're at. I can get you set up with a hotspot. I know you want to do Yaesu Fusion, or you want to do the Fusion network. So I think you've got a Yaesu. I need to go look and see if there's any near you to get in on it. Otherwise, you might need a hotspot. But I think there's one down by you. You shouldn't need a hotspot to get into it. But this is on me. Maybe I should just come down and give you a hand, because I understand the physical limitations that you have. So sending you YouTube videos and PDF articles and all sorts of fun stuff, that only goes so far, right? Hands-on experience is always the best, in my opinion. So maybe I just need to come down there at some point and give you a hand. But what I can do is send you a list of equipment to buy if there isn't a repeater near you to get into it. I don't know. Again, I've said this multiple times. I'm an Icon fanboy, but only because that's just how it happened to be. I have nothing against Yaesu. I just happen to own Icon. If I had more money, I would own some Yaesus, but I don't. So we can definitely get into more of the digital stuff and get you on the Yaesu Fusion. And then as far as CW, I was planning on starting that group. But then I accidentally fell back, well, accidentally, but I fell back into Meshtastic, and I've been doing that pretty hardcore for the last few weeks, trying to get everything set up. I've got a node set up, and man, it's been kind of a roller coaster of just annoyances, but that's kind of the nature of the beast when it comes to that band in that mode. But anyway, let me get some stuff together. Maybe I'll send it to you, and we can go from there. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions on that, and then we can go from there. So, all right, K9 VFP Vince, go ahead. Floor is yours.
WI9MRC Repeater.
K9VFP here. One of the things that's always intrigued me has been antennas of opportunity. The idea that you can get almost anything to resonate. And if it's resonant, it's going to transmit. It'll be a weird pattern somewhere, but who knows what you'll get. And with all of the stealth antennas and things like that we're trying to get around HOAs, I think it would be a fun subject to try. K9VFP, back to net.
Yeah, K9VFP, KT9G, net control. That is a great topic. Can you you kind of went through that really quickly. Can you say it again so everyone can hear you? I want everyone to hear it again. Say it again, the topic, and how, stealth antennas and getting past HOAs and the different types of reticent antennas. I want you to say it again the way that you said it, because you said it better than I can remember how you said it. So say it again.
Okay, what I'm really interested in is the antenna unity. The fact that if you can load into a metallic thing and get it to resonance somehow, you're going to radiate, and you're going to radiate in some strange direction, but it will radiate. That's the difference between a non-tuned antenna and an antenna tuner versus a resonant antenna. And that whole concept, I think we're trying to get around HOAs and things and trying to find stealth antennas when we maybe should be looking at antennas of opportunity. Now, I know that there's some issues with that, and maybe we'll talk more about that. K9VFP, back to net.
All right, K9VFP, KT9G, net control. Yeah, thank you for saying that again. And I was making sure that I understood what you were saying, because I didn't want to put words in your mouth. But I think I know what you're talking about, and that would be a really good topic for a net. I do know that we have quite a few people listening that do live in HOAs, and gutter antennas and other antennas similar to that, which I think is kind of what you're getting at, or at least alluding to, might be an interesting conversation. Sadly, I've not done that. I haven't played with it. And I've also I personally have had problems with bogs, like the beverages on the ground and the loops on the ground. I tried building one, and I didn't have a good time with it. Perhaps that's another one that we could talk about, because I could learn something, because like I said, I didn't have a good time with it, but that's also a really good way for people in situations like that to get a good receive antenna. Those can't transmit, but at least you can receive pretty well, so that might be interesting. So that's definitely a good point, so thank you for that. All right, KB9YQV, Shane, go ahead, floor is yours.
KB9YQV here. Yeah, you talked last week about that Meshtastic. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that. So that's kind of my thing. I sent you an email too last week, and so, well, maybe we can talk about that down the log. KB9YQV, back to net.
Yeah, KB9YQV. I think I may have spaced out. I think I remember you sending me an email. I saw it, and then I scrolled past it, and then I forgot about it because it was marked as red. Okay. I'm going to stop scrolling through my emails so I don't waste too much time. But yes, Meshtastic has been a lot of fun. It is very intermittent. It's it's new. There's not a lot of people doing it. The range is kind of limited. You have to have a pretty decent network for it. There's really we can talk in depth about really good use cases for it. But trying to get it for an entire region is a little rough, but it's a lot of fun. So we can definitely talk about that. So I'll keep it in mind. We can talk about it again to see if anyone else is interested in talking about it. But I'll chat about it. Back to you on that though, KB9YQV. If you are aware, there is a group in Wisconsin called Meshtastic. Hold on, let me see if I can. Well, if I find the email that you sent me, I can reply to it. But if you search up like Meshtastic, you'll find their website. They have a Discord group. I'm active. I'm pretty active in their Discord group, and they have quite a few active people in there, both hams and non-hams. So you can get all sides of the story on it, and figure out where you want to go from there. So it's definitely a good place to start. The other one is chicagoland.org. Chicagoland, they're all down in Illinois, but their group is huge. A lot of really good information that you can get from these guys. You may not be able to reach them, but if you join their Discord or if you want to just chat with them individually over email or over Discord, you can get a lot of good information from these guys too. And they're relatively close. I've picked up Chicago every once in a while. Usually when there's ducting or there's weird reasons why you hit Chicago every once in a while, but it's pretty intermittent. So, all right, hold on. I'm getting beeped at. All right, that brings us down to the bottom of the list. Let's go ahead and see. Is there anybody else out there, A Alpha through Z Zulu, who would like to go ahead and join the Wednesday night Elmer Net? Go ahead. Come out, please.
This is KD9FIX.
Q Alpha 9, Mike Bravo, Mike.
9 GGL. Regular mobile on the way home. I'm going to say no traffic, Jim, but, that might run out by the time I get home. But, yeah, just go ahead, put me no traffic for now.
And QJ in case we doubled.
Woo, we got a good one there. All right, so we got KD9FIX, Brandon. We got KA9MBM, Mike. We got KD9TGM, Wayne, who is mobile on his way home. No traffic for now, but I got you on the list. You were a little breaking up there for a second, but then you cleared up really well. So you're good. Wherever you're at, you sound great. And then KC9WQJ, Karen, I got you on there. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the newcomers real quick. Anybody who's listening that's a newcomer, if you missed any of what the opening topics were or anything, you can go ahead and ask, and I'll give it back to you. Otherwise, if you want to go ahead and throw your traffic out, KD9FIX, floor is yours.
KD9FIX. Yeah, I've been listening. I joined a couple minutes late, but I heard most of it. I am very interested in discussing antennas. And very interested in discussing antenna testing. I'm trying to figure out how to isolate all the variables because I'm building antennas now. Like I've built a couple dipoles, I've built a quarter wave ground plane, I'm using a Slim Jim, I'm switching out different radios and stuff. I'm trying to figure out how to isolate whether or not these antennas are actually working one better than the other and have a little bit more understanding and a little bit more data than just throwing my call sign on a repeater and trying simplex with somebody. Stand by for break. what I've decided to try is I figured out on my Linux machine how to record the audio in. So I threw together a bash script that will listen to the headphone jack for the microphone input. And I've got a Baofeng handy-talkie with, I forget the name of the cable, but it's the kind that goes into a headphone jack, so it's going into the computer input. My script will listen for a certain threshold and then start recording a file once the threshold exceeds. My plan is that then I'll take all my, I'll turn that on, I'll take all my antennas and a radio and go to a park or something and try to broadcast back to home base here, and then I'll be able to actually listen to recordings of what each antenna sounds like for myself. But is this a stupid way of doing it? Like, am I doing this completely wrong? So anyway, that's my question. KD9FIX, back to net control.
KD9FIX, KT9G net control. So, well, I mean, I have a few follow-up questions for that. One, yes. Oh, well, I will say this. It sounds like you're over-engineering. But I will say that it's ingenious. And don't stop what you're doing, because that's exactly what this hobby's about. So, the questions that I kind of have follow-up, and I'm not gonna throw it back to you this time. I want you to think about these questions, and then we'll pick it up on the next round, because I've got a couple of them. Are all of the antennas that you are building for UHF VHF? Because it sounds like you're going somewhere nearby in testing. So I was wondering if it's UHF VHF. Are you doing any of this kind of testing with HF? Are you doing this on 20 or 40 or 80 or 17 or whatever? So that's one of the questions. And then, well, I mean, that's the main question. And then the other thing, have you? Well, I guess that bleeds into if you're only doing UHF VHF. I don't know if you only have your tech license. I guess I could look it up. But there are other ways to test your propagation. You can use the whisper mode. You can use. Well, you could technically do FT8. If you just kind of blast out and see who's coming back to you. JS8's a really good option for sending out heartbeats, because everyone else that's listening will auto-reply. They don't even have to be at their computer, and that can give you a good idea too. So those are a couple of different ways. So think about that. I guess the main question is, are you doing this on only UHF VHF, or are you doing this on HF too? Because if you're doing it only on UHF VHF, the way that you're doing it sounds pretty sexy, I'll say it that way, and might be a good way to do it. But if you're talking about HF, I think there's a lot of better ways, more fun ways, or more accurate ways to do it. Yours is more fun, but more accurate ways to do it. But for UHF VHF, that sounds pretty good. So we'll talk about it on the next round. I want to pick up the rest of the people that came in. So KA9MBM, Mike, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, KA9MBM, and good evening, everybody in the net. Yeah, Jim, I was listening. I turned it on at 10 after 8. I forgot what time it was, so I got distracted. Yeah, Jim, you need to tell everybody what we've been doing with Meshtastic and taking the devices up in an airplane in O'Hare Field and see how many you can repeat. Yeah. I don't think things were meshing too well with Meshtastic for us the last couple days. Anyway, that's another story. The station with asking about antennas there. Now, Jim put on a good question there. If it's HF, and it's a great, it's super that you're building antennas. That's what the hobby's about, as Jim said. But if it's on HF, you could use FT8 or FT4 or PSK, JS8 call, and you could go on PSK Reporter and find out how well everybody else is hearing you around the world, if it's on HF or in the United States here. on one of the HF bands. You would hook one antenna, transmit, hook, and then see what your reports are, hook up another antenna, transmit, and then you compare them. That'll give you some idea. It'll give you a ballpark, but there's other things you have to consider. How far, if the antenna like a vertical, or is it a dipole off the ground? You know, there's a lot of different variables based on what kind of antenna it is. If it's UHF, VHF, you might want to consider using a field strength meter, you know, maybe a couple 100 feet away, and then transmit, have somebody look at the meter and give you a reading, and then change antennas, transmit again. Because that will tell you how well your actual RF pattern is getting out, roughly. With that, back to net control. K9MBM.
Yeah, K9. Hold on. Let me break for a second. I wasn't sure if I thought I heard someone coming in there for a second. Let me break for a second. No? Okay. All right. Yes. So, as far as the Meshtastic thing, that is kind of the fun part. I have had several people on airplanes come in and out of Milwaukee and Chicago while they're on the planes, have their devices on, and bridge nodes. I actually got a message, and I was going to take a screenshot of it and send it into my QRZ page, of a guy messaging me from the plane as he was landing into Milwaukee, as he was flying over Waukesha. So he was saying, hey, landing in Milwaukee in 20 minutes over Waukesha, and I got the message and I responded to him. So I thought that was kind of funny. So I mean, Meshtastic is kind of a hilarious Wild West right now. It's a little weird. The nodes are all over the place and everything's kind of a mess, but it is a lot of fun to do if you've got the patience for it and you just want to play with it. And then yeah, to double down on the different ways to test your antennas, I agree with Mike there, and there's definitely some ways to do it. But I think the real question that we got to wait for is whether or not it's HF or UHF, VHF, because that'll change the answer. So, KC9WQJ, Karen, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Well, hi, KC9WQJ, and I'm also relaying for listen only, Kilo Delta 9 Alpha Alpha Foxtrot Doug. First, I'd like to say your net tonight is unbelievable. I don't always get a chance to check in. So a couple things. I would love to talk about how to get your best bang for your buck with an HT, because there are people that use HTs in the city that have a lot of trouble. I don't know exactly why. And also the breakability of the antennas on the HT. And then the third thing, if you're doing what the last guy just suggested about trying different antennas on a radio, what about like an antenna switch? You know, I have those where you just you can put 5 different antennas on. I do it backwards, but it works. So just a thought there. And third, Vince, I would love to know how to hook up to a rain gutter. So I think that would be a fascinating thing to talk about. So I probably won't come back again, but I will be listening, but you never know. Great job. Oh my gosh, how interesting. KC9WQJ.
KC9WQJ, KT9G, net control. Well, I always appreciate it. Glad to have the president, Madam President, on here. So thanks for coming in. And then, yeah, we can probably talk about some more of that. Gutter antennas are always. I hear a lot about them. I'll tell you this. I hear it brought up a lot, but I don't know if I've ever actually met someone that uses one. So I don't know if they're these weird mythical things that people say work well, but then no one ends up running them. But in theory, they work. I mean, as long as you got a piece of metal that's resonant, your SWR's happy, your radio's happy. And, I mean, it may not propagate very well, but at least your radio's happy and you can get it out. I was lucky enough to live in an HOA where everyone's pretty chill and I can have my 130-foot wire running out my backyard and no one really cares because it's not that big of a deal. I have not upgraded to like a big vertical antenna yet, mostly because of that, but everyone's pretty chill, so I may do it. But yeah, we can definitely talk about stealth antennas. I will say this. I do have a 20-meter double bazooka antenna, 6-meter double bazooka antenna, UHF, VHF, a 220, and a 23-centimeter antenna, all hidden in my attic. So there are ways to cram this stuff in hidden places if you want to get on the air. So it is an option. And then also, I will say, Tar Heel's verticals are also really good for apartments. I've heard some really good stories about people putting up the Tar Heel mobile antennas in their apartments, like on their balcony, and using that for HF. I mean, it's not the best situation you could have, but it works. So there's all sorts of fun ways to deal with that. So, all right, let me break for a second and bring it up to the top of the list because we picked up everybody, and then I don't want to screw over Greg here. So, all right, let me break for a second. All right, up to the top of the list, KD9 JTI. Greg, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Thank you, KD9 GTI. That's all I need, Jim, is more stuff to get, working on, doing research on as far as, you mentioned you had a couple of antennas inside your attic. First question is, what is the height of your attic? Because I've got my dual band antenna up there. It's only 40.6 inches high, and my son who put it up says it's about a half inch away from the top of the attic. So I've got a very low sloping attic. Otherwise, I suppose I'd have to put up horizontal, but with horizontal, it's such a there's such a difference between vertical and horizontal, isn't there? Anyway, KD9 JTA back.
Yeah, KD9 JTI, KT9G, net control. So when I first moved to Wisconsin, one of the things that I wanted was land, and then I ended up settling and not getting land. But I got lucky, and I got a house that was on a hill. So I'm in a subdivision that's on a hill. So my house is at 300 meters above sea level. So in my attic, I'm pretty high up. So I got pretty lucky with that. So I was really happy with that. So my attic is, I mean, obviously my attic itself on the top of the second floor, 25 feet or so or whatever, but on top of the 300 meters above sea level, I'm pushing 900 feet or whatever. So pretty happy with that. And I've had pretty good luck with a lot of the stuff that I've been running up here. So there's the answer to that. All right, W9 GTZ, Jim, go ahead. The floor is yours.
W9 GTZ. You know, Jim, antennas is always a great topic, and I think you could take a whole month of nets or 2 months and do 1 or 2 types of antennas at a time, and maybe talk about the advantages and disadvantages to it. There's just so many different kinds of antennas that you could go on forever, and I think that might be a great one for a continued topic. Also, I appreciate your offer to come in and help me out, and I will take you up on it, but I'm going to wait a little bit till I get off some of these pain pills, because I just don't think as right as I should all the time on them. And then lastly, I still think the greatest thing we could do for MRC, or somebody could do, is put on some actual seminars where you're almost hands-on, or somebody is there hands-on, or maybe you could be hands-on. And some of these digital topics, some of those things would be great in a location like that, where you can actually do it and show it and see it. At that, I'm going to say back to Net Control, W9GTZ.
Yes, W9GTZ, KT9G, Net Control. So I think you might have been the one that mentioned that once before, and that we would turn the monthly meetings, or not the monthly meetings, or the meetings that happen at the bank, we would add some sort of hands-on class or something, because when it comes to, like, let's say setting up a hotspot, there's a bit of nuance to it, especially if people are running different operating systems or different equipment. You may need to answer questions in different ways for different people, so just talking about it on the net might be kind of hard. So that would be a really good topic. Maybe setting up something like Meshtastic would be a really fun thing, like, hey, here's how you set up a node if you're interested in it, or building, I think Vince, who we'll come to here in a second, I know that he's done live classes of setting up Yagi antennas using tape measures, the tape measure Yagis. So I know he's got some experience with doing in-person classes. So that would be a great idea. We can definitely talk to Karen about getting something like that set up. So perfect segue. K9VFP, Vince, go ahead. Floor is yours.
K9VFP. Yeah, setting up reference dipoles is definitely a cool thing to do, and there's a lot there to explain. I think that would take a lot longer than an hour, though. I mean, you'd want to do maybe 3 or 4 nights to really show someone how to go get a couple of stick antennas and put them together, or make a tape measure antenna. And what actually are you doing? What is resonance? That would be really good, but in order to do that, we'd have to get hold of a room that we could have for like a week, and maybe a couple of guys get together and plan the curriculum so that you can get across to a lot of people. I think it's an excellent idea. The idea of trying different antennas and different antenna types, to me the reference dipole is not really the best thing in the world to learn on, because it's very mythical and doesn't really reflect the real world. When you look at a reference dipole and then you look at some of the a long wire antenna or something else that's not resonant, how does that get out? The topic I mentioned before, the idea of antennas of opportunity, that comes from aspiring to be a pirate radio transmitter at one very early age, and understanding that some people were stacking up mattress springs and getting them to resonate. But that's a whole different animal and a slightly different topic. K9VFP, back to net.
KC9WQJ, go ahead. Floor is yours for a short.
If it were possible for me to get, like, the HRO room where they do testing, for instance, let's say the 24th of May, which is on a Saturday, from, like, 9 to 11 or something, or 10 to 12. Is that something, Jim? Because I think, I don't know what your life is like, but that is a big commitment. But I think, is that something that you want to just toss around? But I'm going to throw it back to you, Jim, KC9WQJ.
Yeah, KC9WQJ, KT9G, net control. So, yes. Let me put it to you this way. If there is an interest and we've got people interested, I would dedicate time to it. I feel bad saying this, but if only 3 people show up, it's, that's sad. But I feel bad for those 3 people. Those 3 people were very interested in learning. So it's kind of a toss-up. But if we could set up a time, maybe just throw something out, and we can maybe we can throw some kind of poll out over the net and just be like, hey, what does everyone want to learn about? And then we could do a seminar on it. And if we've got 4, 5, 6 people interested, I'll do it. I'll come out. I'll do it. It's really not that far. It's like a 35-minute drive for me, so that's not that bad. I'd do it. So if people are interested in a specific topic that requires hands-on, so we're talking about setting up something like setting up Meshtastic, or something like setting up a hotspot, or JS8 call, or learning FT8 or something. I don't know, something that's not intuitive with radio. Well, nothing in radio is intuitive, but you know what I mean. Something that's a little bit more niche. I'd be down for it. But I think the most important thing is figuring out what everyone kind of wants to do, and then figure out what the most people want to do, and then I'll do it. Or if I'm not the subject matter expert on it, we can find someone who is. Because I will admit, I am not the subject matter expert on everything. There are people who are better at me than a lot of things. So it may not be me teaching, but maybe we can find someone who does. So that is a great call out. We will definitely see. Oh my gosh, we're already at 10 minutes to the hour, and we're like not even through the second round here. So let me give it to Shane here. KB9YQV. Shane, go ahead. Floor is yours.
KB9YQV here, yeah. I think any of that digital stuff, antennas, Meshtastic, any of that would be interesting topics to do a seminar on, or whatever. So, yeah, that would be a good idea. KB9YQV, back to net.
Yeah, KB9YQV, KT9G, net control. Yeah, so, I mean, I'll admit, one of the things that all right, let's see if he's out there tonight. I like the whole zombie apocalypse thing, and I really like the preparedness concept. That was the whole reason that I got into ham radio tonight, or in general. But one of the things that I've always been really interested in is being able to communicate without backbone, right? And so Meshtastic's really cool because the concept is that it has no backbone. If you do JS8, FT8, those digital modes, CWHF stuff, those all don't have backbone. But when you get into things like DMR, D-Star, Fusion, and All-Star, those kind of digital modes that can be bridged via the internet, I lost a little bit of interest. But I will say I ended up finally building a hotspot and learning about it because other people were interested, and I wanted to learn about it. So we'll see if others are very interested in it, I would love to give a talk on the stuff that I've learned about. But I will say this. As I said previously, there are other people who know a lot more than I do about it. So if that's the topic we want to talk about, maybe I'll pull their legs and get them to come talk about it. So, but if we want to do like FT8, JS8, kind of the HF digital modes, that'd be a lot of fun. I'd have a lot of fun with that because you can do some really cool stuff with it. And JS8, if you haven't looked into JS8, JS8's my favorite band or favorite mode of all time because it's kind of all right. So trying not to tangent off here because we've only got 8 minutes left here. So KD9 FIX, Brandon, go ahead. Floor is yours.
KD9FIX. I built antennas for UHF and VHF, also HF antennas, but right now my testing focus, I really want to focus on 2 meters and 70 centimeters. I have a similar interest to you in that I like I'm interested in ways of communicating without infrastructure, basically. And I love repeaters, obviously. It's great to talk to all of you, and thanks for having this net and supporting this repeater. But one of the challenges that I'm trying to solve is I've got a buddy who's a ham about 40 miles north of where I live in New Berlin, and I'm trying to figure out how I can talk to him. First, I want to understand how good my 2 meter and 70 centimeter antennas can get. I don't think that'll go 40 miles, of course. I mean, line of sight and everything, I understand that. But when I've exhausted the testing for the 2 meter stuff, then I will definitely be interested in testing HF antennas. I've been looking into like NVIS and things like that, trying to get the sky the bounce and to shorten that skip zone and everything. But yeah, I'm interested in testing 2 meter antennas primarily. That's me, KD9FIX.
Yeah, KD9FAX, KT9G, net control. Well, yeah. So 2 meters and 70 centimeters line of sight for sure. 2 meters is a little bit different. Ducting can happen. All that. It can get messy with getting longer range on 2 meters. 6 meters is really the magic band. That one is weird. And I believe I'd have to look it up, and I should know this, but as a tech, you have access to 6, which may be the option for you, but that's only at certain times if it's behaving well for you, because it bounces in and out. I don't remember did you say 40 miles? That's quite a bit. If you get something up high, maybe. I don't know if you're interested in playing with helium balloons, but I've got a friend who that's his hobby in this hobby. His sub hobby is helium balloons. So he puts transceivers on massive balloons and rolls them out with string and puts them up like 800 feet and then makes contacts with them. It's actually kind of hilarious how he does it. But he makes some really cool contacts on 70 centimeters because he's got this helium balloon that's like a quarter mile in the air, and he can make really long contacts. But anyway, I don't know if that's really what you want to get into, but 40 miles might be a much. If you want to make contacts like that, you're going to need something high up. Repeaters are a good option for that. Now, I will say I have a weird spot in my heart for repeaters. I don't consider them backbone because they're stand alone, have backup power. If everything goes down, they're usually still up, so it's still considered emergency comms, blah, blah, blah. But simplex, radiator radio, which is what you're trying to do, I don't know, 40 miles might be kind of hard on that unless you're both on top of a mountain. So I don't know. It really all comes down to how you're trying to do it. Sorry, I tangented off there and I kind of forgot what I was talking about. But I think the way that let me reset real quick. I think the way that you're trying to test it out is really clever, and I wouldn't stop you from doing it because it seems fun, and I would encourage you to keep doing it. But I would definitely take a look at upgrading and maybe playing with 6 meters, and then playing with the way that the weather changes and the solar cycle changes, and seeing if 6 meters can do some fun stuff for you. But 6 meters is pretty intermittent, so take it with a grain of salt. So, all right, KA9MBM, Mike, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Yeah, K9MBM. Well, boy, I was taking some notes here. The 40 miles is doable. I've done it. Simplex. On 2 meters. It's not a problem. I wouldn't rule that out. But what I would suggest is you're going to need 11 element beam for 2 meters. And I would suggest the other person you're trying to communicate has 11 element beam as well. And what you want to do is you want to focus, and I would say about 50 watts. You could probably do it. Simplex on FM. I've done it years ago. It's doable. I've taken a 11 element beam on just on the rooftop, mounted on the roof. I can point it at Baraboo. I could hit the Baraboo repeater. I could hit a whole slew of different repeaters around the state and then into Illinois. The 11 element beam, it takes all your energy, it focuses it on a single point, both for transmit and receive. Because if you're talking a vertical, your total energy is dispersed in every direction. And that, if you're trying to go distance, that won't work efficiently. So 6 meters is it is a very unique band. It has its quirks on it. It's not totally reliable 100% all the time. Meaning when the band's open, yeah, you're going to get band openings on there, but when the band is not open, it's not real reliable. It's unpredictable. 2 meters would be a better shot for you, and it's doable. The definition of resonance, if you're talking about antennas in general, you're basically, you measure your total energy that you got coming out of your transceiver into the coax, or if you have a ladder line of some sort, versus what the energy going out versus the energy coming in. You want majority of your energy going out towards the antenna, not coming back. That's the definition of resonance. I've heard of people doing rain gutters, tuning them up. It can be done. You treat it as like an basic repeater. Timeout. Repeater. Timeout. Cancel. Jim, where did I leave off?
You were talking about the resonance on gutter antennas. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I know that you don't have the timer on your radio, but yeah, you were talking about the resonance on gutter antennas. Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't talk much further than that. I was going to say, I've heard of people doing it. It can be done. You treat it like a long wire, or like an end-fed wire without a 49 to 1 balun on the end of it. You need a wide range tuner to do it, and it helps if you got a ground rod in the ground. So it works. It's not the best for radiating. It can be done in a pinch. Go ahead, Jim. K9MBM.
Yeah, K9MBM, KT9G. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's doable. And then, well, hold on a second. Let me see here. We'll bring it down to the last on the list if she's still here. KC9WQJ, Karen, go ahead. Floor is yours. Are you still with us? Did you still have traffic? Go ahead.
Well, amazingly enough, I am still with you. Normally I'm asleep by now, but it's been a fantastic net. I would just like to bring up the point that you said, and here is the biggest thing, is getting people to be committed to actually show up for something. So I have done this myself on many occasions, either planned a dinner out or a function, even a meeting. And we did it with an ice cream social once. So I'm just saying it's really important for people to understand that when we do even nail down a topic, to be supportive of the program, sometimes regardless of the topic, because your topic will come around. So we can't just necessarily depend on people to show up only if it's the thing you're interested in, okay? So think about that, because it takes a village, and I think that this is an amazing group of people, and we can open it up to all ham radio operators, not just 9-1 operators for sure. So anybody in the ham radio community, and I think it is an awesome idea moving forward to come up with a regular date and time, and I'm going to talk to Tom at HRO, and then once we have the spot, I think we can do that. But you got to be thinking of committing your time to that, if it's once a month or whatever, KC9WQJ.
KC9WQJ, KT9G, Net Control. You're absolutely right. And that was the mindset that I had last year when we started doing the POTA stuff, was that regardless of people showed up, just keep doing it. Hopefully people keep showing up. We had a few months of people showing up in a decent turnout. And then we had some months where no one showed up. But that's fine, as long as you keep doing it. Which reminds me, I want to start doing it soon. However, I've got my baby daughter coming soon, so I don't know. I need to find someone in the group who is also very passionate about POTA. Vince, I'm thinking about you. Or WB9SXG, Dave. He's not on tonight. Someone pick it up. Keep doing it. Every month we need to do a 9-1 outing. Open to everybody, but we need to get out and do it. But yes, I think maybe we should just do it. Even if no one shows up, we'll do it. Do it every month. And then, if you build it, they will come. So maybe that's the concept. So, all right, we're 5 past the hour. Let's go ahead, see if there's anybody else out there, A Alpha through Zizu, who would like to join us for the last round of the Wednesday night Elmer Net. Go ahead, coming up, please.
K9DFP for short.
Go ahead, Vince.
I just wanted to summarize some of the things I heard, and as far as the POTA thing goes, you should talk to me offline. But one of the things I heard from Karen earlier on tonight was how many people are using a handy-talkie. And a handy-talkie, a $20 Amazon Baofeng was my first radio. And the learning curve I went through on that gave me a definite input into ham radio as to how good those things really can be if you get around the glossy advertisement and actually treat it like a radio. I've actually done a net off of my Baofeng, and it actually will work. the thing is, you got to tune the antenna. The very first thing you do is you take the antennas they give you and throw them away. But a lot of people don't get that, and maybe what we should do is we should try a handy-talkie clinic and help people out and start looking at antenna testing. Some of the more advanced guys could look at receive and transmit. I actually have a signal generator that can generate VHF and modulate it, so we could do something there. I don't know. What do you think? K9VFP, back to net.
K9VFP, KT9G, net control. Yes. So, I'm glad you said it. I will say this. UV5R is an amazing radio. I've got like 5 of them, and I have them for emergency use cases. They're amazing radios. I also have a Kenwood THD75. So we're talking 2 complete, like, different ends of the spectrum as far as cost, right? And in all honesty, when it comes to, do I need a radio to make contact with someone if I'm in an emergency, the UV5R will do it exactly. And the UV5R is an amazing radio. It will do everything you need it to as far as ham radio. So that might actually be a really good talk, because you don't have to have something expensive. If you know what you're doing, you can make it work well. But you're absolutely right. Throw the antenna out. They don't come with the best antennas. But all right. Anyway, let me pick up anybody here at the end. So I got you for the short time. Is there anybody else out there? A Alpha 3 Z Zulu for the last round of the Wednesday night Elmer Net. Go ahead, come now, please. Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead and start our 73 round. I'll bring it up to the top of the list. KD9 JTI, Greg, go ahead. The floor is yours. 73 round.
Thank you, KD9 JTI. Well, 73s, everybody. We'll catch y'all next week. You have yourself a fine rest of the week. We forgot his call signs and oh shoot. I'll remember to be the guy that's after me. Don't get so disheartened about not being able to walk. I've been doing that for about 12 years already. They got a progressively degenerative neurological brain disease called cerebellar ataxia. And I use the walker. I use a U-step 2 walker during the day in the house. When I get too tired, then I go in the wheelchair. And it is impossible for me to put up an antenna. Well, I can stick a magnet mount, 19-inch magnet mount on a filing cabinet is about it. Anyway, 73s everybody, KD9 JTI will be clear.
KD9 JTI, KT9G, net control. 73s, have a great night. Yeah, I get it. Well, no, I don't get it. I'm sorry, I'm young still, so I didn't mean to say it like that. But yeah, have a great night. And yeah, if you need anything from any of us, you're down in the Racine area, aren't you? I don't know where you're at. But let us know. So I got you marked as checked out, and we'll catch you next week. W9GTZ, Jim, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Whiskey 9 Golf Tango Zulu. You know, I'm talking about these seminars. To me, the really perfect place to do it is after the monthly Wednesday night meeting. And that serves 2 purposes. You run the seminar, and hopefully you start to develop more people coming to the monthly meeting. And very possibly they could move the monthly meeting a half hour or an hour earlier, so we didn't run so late, and you could be right there at the Waterstone Bank. I think the whole thing would work out great if we could do it that way personally. I think going to HRO for a long day seminar is nice too, but I think just an hour and a half or maybe two on a Wednesday night after the meeting would make for absolutely a perfect seminar. It gives you twofold advantage of attracting people. You're going to attract some people to join the club that way too. People might see somewhere that they're having a seminar and join the club. So who knows? At that, I'm going to say 73s. I'm going to make a comment that effective Monday, I will be taking over for Jerry on Monday nights, and I think for the time being, Karen is taking over for me on Wednesday nights. So hopefully we'll see you all on Monday nights for the Monday Night Net. Whiskey 9 Golf Tango Zulu, Claire, 73s, have a good day.
Whiskey 9 Golf Tango Zulu, 73s, have a great night. And yeah, thanks for mentioning that. And then also, as a reminder to everybody that's listening right now, my wife is pregnant, and our daughter, we have a new daughter coming soon, which will result in me probably not being able to do the Wednesday Night Net for a little while. So when I say my post-amble, and I'm talking about new operators experiencing net control operations by trying a net or two, I'm serious. If there's anybody else out there that is interested in doing that, please let us know. It'll help out a lot. I do know that Jerry is going to help pick up this net, but if there's anybody else out there who's interested in doing net control, let us know, because I'm gonna need a little bit of time, and it sounds like there's some other stuff being shifted around. So I just wanted to throw that out as well. All right, K9VF or W9GTZ 73s, have a great night. K9VFP Vince, go ahead. Floor is yours. 73 round.
73 to all. I think we've hit the nail on the head in this net, as in terms of maybe some way to improve things. Congratulations on your up-and-coming new ham. Good luck. And yeah, trying to get participation into an event is going to be hard, but we could try and see what happens. Having something outdoors. As far as going earlier is going to affect those of us who work for a living, especially trying to navigate through downtown traffic. So that's the only bad thing about doing it Wednesday night. Something like this is better off done on a Saturday morning, where you have some time and some daylight to be outside and get some distance. I think we need to, best piece of advice I would give is we should set up a meet for dinner somewhere and throw this idea around a little bit with a core group. K9VFP, 73 to all, and to all a good night.
Yeah, K9VFP, KT9G, net control. I think you're right. We can definitely give that a shot and see where it goes. So, 73s, have a great night. KB9YQV, Shane, go ahead. Floor is yours.
KB9YQV here. Yeah, a lot of interesting topics about the
KB9YQV, this is Kilo Tango 9 Golf Net Control. I don't know if you're, we lost you there for a little bit. You got all scratchy and then vanished out on us. Are you still with us?
WI9MRC Repeater.
I said it was all interesting topics, and 73s and good night. KB9YQV back to net.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, you got all scratchy right there at the end. I didn't know if you cut out or if you were done transmitting. So, all right, 73s, have a great night. All right, KD9FIX, Brandon, go ahead. Floor is yours, 73 round.
KD9FIX, yeah, thank you for all the advice and the pointers from everybody tonight. Number one, I'm going to look into a field strength meter. Somebody mentioned that earlier. I have not heard of that, but I'll look into that. 6 meters I hadn't considered, but yeah, I am a general. I'm just taking one thing at a time. The hobby is really starting to open up for me, and I'm understanding the depth and the breadth of what I'm able to experiment with and try out. So really focusing on 2 meters is what I'm doing right now, and then I play POTA, like hunting and stuff. So you mentioned having like POTA events or something, and I'll keep my ear out for that because I would like to participate if possible. Helium balloons was mentioned. That sounds amazing, but that might be a little bit too deep for where I am right now. Congrats on the baby daughter on the way. Kids are a special blessing. Baofengs, that was my first radio, and actually I'm using the Baofeng for, let me reset the timer one real quick. I'm using a Baofeng to try and do the recording for the antenna transmission testing stuff, and I appreciate the Baofengs. Interesting to hear about the 11-element beam. That sounds really cool. Also sounds a little bit expensive, which is fine, but yeah, lots to experiment with. And I wanted to mention the script that I'm using on Linux to listen to my Baofeng, I threw it up on GitHub. So if you want to look for Quackles, Quakkels, on GitHub, that's me, and there's a repository called Antenna Testing on there, and there's just a little recording.sh script on there, which is what I'm using. 73, everybody, thank you for the net. Good night.
Yeah, absolutely. KD9FIX, KT9G, net control. No, sounds good. I missed the spelling for Quackles, but I see that you're using NetLogger. If you go into the AIM window, can you type in the GitHub page in there? And I'm on it. I will copy and paste it and find it. I am interested in that. So I like to see what other people are doing. I've got 4 GitHub accounts, all for different purposes. I don't have any for ham. I should make one. Well, I don't write anything for ham, so I should. That's but I would be very interested in checking that out. So thank you for coming in tonight. Hopefully to catch you next week, and we'll go from there. So 73s, have a great night. I got you marked as checked out. KA9MBM, Mike, go ahead. Floor is yours, 73 round.
Yeah, K9MBM. Yeah, the 11 element beam they're not that terribly expensive. You could go to the hardware store. You could buy some aluminum pieces. You could find them at a ham fest, dirt cheap. Cushcraft has made them for years, probably close to 40 or 50 years. And they were a really popular beam, so I imagine you can find them at a ham fest. And I would just take 2 of those, point them, one at your house, one at the other ham's house, point them together. You should be able to do it on FM simplex. Okay, well, Jim, I'll talk to you tomorrow in the morning on our normal scheduled time, and I'll say good evening, everybody on the net. This is K9MB on 73s.
K9MBM, KT9G, 73s. Have a great night. All right. All right, we're going to push Karen to her limit here. Karen, KC9WQJ, are you still with us, 73?
Gosh, yes, I'm glad you didn't leave me out here. A couple things. One, I'm going to be at the Swap Fest in Cedarburg on Saturday. I have a table there. When somebody just mentioned this, those like aluminum pole things, whatever, I have a bunch of them that I picked up that somebody it begged me to get out of their basement. I think there's one or two pieces that are 7 foot long. They're in the back of my van, and anybody could have them, but you're going to have to come to the Swap Fest to get them. So I'm just giving them away, but I don't want to drag them into the building to turn around and drag them out. If you're interested in getting those, you can call me or whatever. Secondly, this net was so great tonight, and one of the things we underused, and that is the Milwaukee Repeater Club Facebook page. So you can go on the website, because a lot of people say, I don't do Facebook, blah, blah, blah. Well, you can go on our website and click on the Facebook page, and you can go ahead and post any of this stuff. If you said, oh, we had a great time tonight on Jim's Net, and anybody interested in learning about antennas, we're trying to get a group or whatever, and start talking about it, because we do have a lot of people that look at the Milwaukee Repeater Club Facebook page. So not everybody's on the radio. So I think that the more that we can get out into the ham community, which I will talk to people about it on Saturday, I think that's a great thing. Absolutely. So I agree with Vince about having the meeting earlier. That wouldn't happen. But we could plan on a Wednesday at a meeting ahead of time and put it out there a month in advance of what we were going to do, and everybody could talk it up, and the next month we could do a next thing, and the next month the next thing, because we already have the room and it's free. So with that, I think that's all I have, KC9WQJ. So my phone number is also on the website, but it's 414-578-0492. Everyone has permission to give my phone number out. It doesn't matter. KC9WQJ, back to Nick.
All right, KC9WQJ, KT9G, net control. Perfect. Thank you for the information, and yeah, I'm glad you stuck with us till the end here. I do know that we went a half hour over what we normally do, which means that it was a great net, and I will remind everybody that I record every single one of my nets. We do not have a place to put them up yet, but eventually I will. So every single one of these nets are recorded and will be able to be listened to post-net. So that's cool. So if anyone's like, oh my gosh, we had such a great net, it's like, was it really that great? Yeah, you can go listen to it. Boom. That's how cool it is. So all right, 73's Karen, have a great night. Thanks for coming in. That brings us to the bottom of the list. I did have KD9 TGM. Wayne, do you want to go ahead and 73? I'm not sure if you're still with us. Go ahead. All right, no, I didn't. I wasn't sure. I hadn't heard him for a while, so I just want to give him a chance. All right, so that brings us down to the bottom of the list. Is there anybody else out there? A Alpha through Z Zulu with any late chickens or last minute business? Go ahead, come now, please.
Whiskey 9 Golf Tango Zulu. Jim, you got time to give me a phone call for a short conversation when we're done here?
Yes, it depends on if I remember what phone I used to call you. I'm kind of a weirdo. I have too many phones. Yes, I should be able to find you. Otherwise, let me close this net out and we can figure it out after the net, after I stop recording and everything. So, but yeah, that's fine. I got a minute or two. Anyone else? A Alpha 3 Z Zulu with any late check-ins or last-minute business? Go ahead.
WI9MRC.
Yeah, was that Whiskey Alpha 9 Romeo Yankee Foxtrot? Howard in Milwaukee?
Yeah, that was me. I don't wish the floor, but I just would like to make a call.
Yeah, sure. You just wanted to get on the list as a check-in? I got you on there. Go ahead.
Yeah, that would be fine. I would maybe like to be a check-in, but I would like to talk with Mike, KE9MVM, about making a schedule sometime to chat. WI9RYF.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm pretty close with Mike. Let me write your call sign down. I don't know if he's already dipped out for the night, but if he did, Whiskey Alpha 9, Romeo Yankee Foxtrot. All right, I got your name, Howard. I will let him know if he doesn't hear this that you want to chat with him. Otherwise, I got you on the list. Hold on, let me mark this here. Anyone else? A Alpha through Z Zulu, late check-ins or last-minute business? Go ahead.
K9MBM.
Yeah, Mike, MBM, I got you. But there was another call sign in there, real deep in the mud. The other call station, maybe on a portable or a mobile. Go ahead, throw your call sign out again.
Kilo Charlie 9, Victor November Golf. This is Robert.
Yeah, Kilo Charlie 9, Victor November Golf. Oh, yeah, Rob. I recognize that call sign. I got you on there. Thanks for coming in. We're doing late check-ins though. But hold on, let me throw it over to. Oh my goodness. we had a good night tonight. Mike, KA9MBM, Mike, go ahead. Do you want to make a comment real quick?
Yeah, Howard, are you still on frequency? We can QSY over to Ron's repeater.
Yeah, that would be fine. I don't have a lot of time right now, but I got a few seconds. I can give you a call over there, WA9RYF. Thanks, Mike.
K9MBM, QSY.
All right, perfect. This is Kilo Tango 9 Golf, host of the Wednesday Night Elmer Net, bridging friends since 2023. KC9 Victor November Golf. If you had a comment, go ahead, throw it out.
Yeah, good evening, Jim. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to join, but I caught bits and pieces in the net while I was getting some things done. One thing that might be an interesting topic to discuss, too, is satellites. I've been interested in some of that, haven't had a chance to pursue it, but I know there's a lot of interesting technology and different things there, too. And going forward, I'm going to be trying to join more often here. The 8 o'clock time slot works better for me, so I'm looking forward to that. Thanks for hosting. KC9VNG, back to net.
All right, KC9VNG, KT9G Net Control. Yes, satellites is a good topic, and we actually haven't talked about that in quite a long time, so that might be due for a chat. So, good call out there. I wrote that down. All right, 73s, have a great night. Anyone else? A Alpha 3 Z Zulu with any late check-ins or last-minute business? Go ahead. Come now, please. All right, hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and secure this net at 9:31 p.m. It was a good night. And thank you all for participating, and a reminder that this net, along with most other nets here on the 9-1 repeater, welcome new operators to experience net control operations by trying a net or two. If you wish to try acting as net control operator, please go ahead and contact our club president, Karen, KC9WQJ, to participate. All of the net scripts are on the club website for you to review. At this point, I will return the repeater to normal amateur use. Again, my name is Jim, Kilo Tango 9 Golf, and 73's to all, and to all, a good night.
Whiskey 9 Golf Tango Zulu.